It's that time of the year, kikish. It's that time of the year, kika. It's that time of the year, kika. Okay, you guys. I'm not your mate anymore. You know why? It's time to apply for my citizenship. I was actually eligible a while back and I started applying. I was like, wait, I wouldn't, how dare I? I gotta actually show my YouTube family how I'm doing this thing. So the same way I showed you guys my PR process, getting it, applying and screening my immigration lawyer, if you were just coming to this channel, but it's the same way I want to show you my citizenship application. So first of all, the thing I noticed was the application portal is so different, so bougie. It's like Canada even knows that if you've gotten to this stage, we will not play with you anymore. We're like, you're like the elite, you know what I'm saying? Like compared to the PR application, there was so many things, it was so redundant, it was crazy. But I was like, wow, this is what it feels like to be a citizen. So we're about to start the journey and you best believe I'm going to take you through it all. If you're new to this channel, what's up? My name is Janey, aka Janey of Canada. On here we talk about everything life as an immigrant. If that sounds like something you're interested in, please subscribe. Even if you just like the energy, we'll take that too. Subscribe and then let's get into the video actually. So the first thing you need to know is to become a citizen. If you're watching this, it means that you're already sharing the joy with me. What's up? Hey, you're already there. I just want to actually see the process, or you're planning your future and you want to get a sense of what you need to know to become a citizen of Canada. I've talked about citizenship versus PR before, pros and cons. I wouldn't dive into that here. However, the rule generally is that to become a citizen in Canada, you must be a permanent resident for 3 out of the 5 years, or 3 out of 5 years, and you must be in Canada. You must be in Canada for 3 out of the 5 years as a permanent resident. However, if you're like me, where you have studied or worked in Canada prior to when you got your permanent residency, all you need to do is have your permanent residency and be in Canada for 2 out of 5 years, because that extra third year you will get it as a bonus from all the years you stayed, up to a maximum of a year. So they pretty much counted like 2 years or 2 days is one in like before you have lived in Canada. So for instance, how would I explain it in simple terms? If you have been in Canada for 2 years before you got your PR, you will get 1 year. If you've been 1 year, you might get 6 months. I don't know the logistics, but I had been in Canada God knows how long before I applied for my PR. I think 3-4 years. Then I've had my PR for 2 years, but I'll show you the entire process. I don't want to ramble too much. Also, if you leave Canada at any point in your permanent residency journey, they take out those days. So you have to first calculate your physical presence. The citizenship application was taking me all of 30 minutes to apply, so it shouldn't take you that long. And that is what I am going to show you right now. Let's go. What you want to do is go to canada.ca and apply for your citizenship. When you go to that link, you want to be able to click apply online if you can. Here is where you will see the eligibility for who can apply. So on this link, when you click here, you see here who can apply. To apply, you must be 18 years of older, must be a permanent resident, must have been physically present in Canada for at least 1,095 days in the 5 years immediately before you apply, and you may need to have filed personal income taxes for at least 3 years within the 5-year period. You also must demonstrate adequate knowledge of English and French, and must demonstrate you have knowledge of Canada and of the responsibilities and privileges of citizenship if you are between 18 and 54 years old when you apply. This is assessed obviously after you apply, which is the test that you would have to do. You can't have any unfulfilled conditions relating to your permanent resident status. You cannot be under removal order, and you cannot be inadmissible. If you're not sure about any of these things, you click on this link here and it'll be able to ask you all these questions that we've just gone through. So for my situation now, have I been a permanent residency and been in Canada at least 3 out of 5 years? My answer is no. And then have I lived in Canada with temporary resident or protected status within the last 5 years? My answer is yes. So I've only had my PR for 2 years, right? So it now asks me, have you been a permanent resident and physically been in Canada for at least 2 years? I say yes. Have you been outside of Canada for more than 730 days? I say no. And then it asks me if I've been asked to leave, if I have any unfulfilled conditions. It asks me how old I am, what range, and if I know English or French. If I filed my taxes and in the last 5 years, and my answer was yes. And so now the next thing you want is to use the physical presence calculator. Here you have to also know that it's for, not everyone can apply online right now. I think it's only reserved for individuals. If you need to apply as a family, you would have to do that on paper. You can also just click on this link and it will tell you. You're applying for yourself only, not your family, and you've used the physical presence calculation. You cannot include time spent outside of Canada. So this physical presence requirement says that you must be for 2 years, a minimum of 2 years, if you have lived in Canada before you got your permanent residence. Just read the following information. I don't want to spend time reading it. It just tells you what to do. You will need to get police certificates. If during the 4 years immediately and before the date of application, if you spent 183 days or more in a row, or since the age of 18 in a country other than Canada, you must provide a police certificate from each country. If you were in a country of origin immediately prior to becoming a resident and landing in Canada, and this falls within this 4-year period, you're not required to provide a police certificate, which will be in the physical presence calculator. Enter the date you want. You will sign the application. Today is the 4th of January. You must be at least 1 day before. So tomorrow, let's just be safe. The date we became a permanent resident was October 2019. 2020. It had to be 2019. If you're not sure, you can always look at your permanent residency card and it will say it there. Yep, that's when we got it. So you save. Oops. You go to calculate, and so you calculate. Did you have? Yep, I did. Least periods you had recent time. Please only list the periods of time you had authorized temporary resident or protected status between 2017. This is where you now put things like international student. You put the date. I'm going to do this off camera. I'll just fill this in and come back. So this is where they ask you about time you have left Canada at all in the 5 years leading to the date you apply. And so you typically, when you apply for your PR and you land, you're usually given a slip that helps you calculate the days you've been in and out, and that's what you and so it's a good nifty tip to always log the days you have left the country. So I'm going to do this off cam and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I'm done filling the absences out, and this is what it says here. According to the information I provided, I meet the requirement to be physically present in Canada for at least 1095 days in the 5 years immediately before the date of my application. And this is where it breaks it down. So I out of 1095, I've been around for 1121. I'm not going to go too much into the details, but this is the part where I was saying, and it's good to understand this, they calculate your presence as a permanent resident, and how much credit you get for those days, as well as your credit as a temporary resident if you were, which means now my total credit has to amount to, as a permanent resident, has to amount to 2 years, 365 plus 365, 730 I believe is the number, and then my total presence as or total credit as a temporary resident needs to be maximum of 365. This is where he breaks it down to say that each day counts as 0.5 credit as a temporary resident, and you can amass more than 365 days. So if you technically, they would only take 730 days to make up that 1 year, so 2 years, right? Pretty much. And then this is where it just breaks down all the information, how many days I was away, and I will need to print this information for my citizenship application. So you can click on print this page, and it will say save as PDF. You have your 2-page of PDF, and then you save that. There we go. And you can just have that page saved, and you can always retrieve it at any time. it comes to the fun part, I really love to see that I like to say that the citizenship portal looks so pretty, like compared to the PR portal, if you ask me. So you come here to the Sit Apply Canadian Citizenship Application URL here, and then this is the portal. Then you sign in. If you haven't, you create a password. I have created a password, makes it easy. So the first step, so up here on the top corner is where you see for you to provide your details, upload more documents, pay your fee, review, and submit. So each big tab has sub tabs under. So now in providing details, here's my personal info, contact information, stuff about residency and tax, work in school, any prohibitions, language, proof, and consent. Under uploading documents, this is where I have to upload my passport picture, as well as ID and all of that sort. Then I pay my fee here and submit. So I'll go back to here. Under pay fee, there's not much there other than a paying fee and uploading your receipt if you've already applied. There is conversations right now to waive the citizenship fee, but I don't know when that would be. But the truth is I don't want to wait until then, because I don't want a situation where there's now crazy backlog. So this is where you talk about yourself. You ask about French language, English language, your UCI, name, change name, have I used any other name, all of that stuff. You fill it in here. Address, all the information, you fill it in here, and it's honestly really self-explanatory. This is the piece about the physical presence that we just filled. Because we have completed our physical presence, now remember that file was submitted, I can now upload it here. Good. That is the most important thing I wanted to show you. So today we're going to now do today as January 5th. So this now shows our eligibility, and then this is where you put in your address and police certificates for the entire 5-year period, which I will continue doing off camera. And then add things like SIN and all of that stuff and taxes. Okay, it's actually pretty straightforward. I'll come back to that. This is where you now talk about details of employment and education history in the past 5 years. I've gone through some of that stuff offline already. Any prohibitions such as arrests or sentences or anything of that sort. This is where you upload your IELTS result. You can use the same IELTS or language test result you use for your PR, because it's still valid for this application. And then this is where you give your consent. Here is where you upload the photo, as I said, the photographer name, the date it was taken. The picture needs to be 6 months, within the next 6 months. That I have to actually go do today. And then you pay your citizenship fee somewhere else. Come here and upload your receipt. You can now do a final review. Now it's telling me that I need to fill this out. I need to upload documents and pay fee. And then I will be able to submit. I'm going to do all of that offline, and that's pretty much it. It's actually quite straightforward. Right now, they say that the processing time to get your citizenship is 1 year. I've heard of some people getting it faster, some people a little slower. I'll, of course, keep you guys up to date as I do this application process. Thank you so much. That's it from me. And there you have it. It's actually very simple to apply for your citizenship. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment chat, and I'm ready to help you talk through this journey. But if you like this video, give it a like. If you loved it, love it, and subscribe. And I can't wait to see you waving that flag. Hey, 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 hey. See you in the next one. Bye.